Hello everyone and welcome back to Cities by Steven. You're talking to Steven. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button. Get that bell notification on too so you don't miss out on a video. Last time we were in the city, we built the city's first trams. We got this first tram lanes and, brought trams into the city. Trams are my favorite mode of transport. They turned out fantastically. What are we doing in today's episode? Well, we're continuing the theme of transit this week, and we're going to be adding bike lanes into the city. Yes, we don't have bike lanes in this city yet at all, because I was saving them for this video. I like saving the bike lanes for a dedicated video. When the city's at about this level, bike lanes don't really appear in a city unless the city's, profitable and making money, because bike lanes are expensive to put in. But we're definitely at the point now where the benefits definitely outweigh the costs of getting people traveling with their bicycles. And bike lanes, while they're a pretty hot topic in Canadian municipal politics, they are very common now in cities. They weren't for a long time. So, no, look at this traffic backup. Yeah, that always happens when a train or multiple trains run through Brownsville. We'll have to look at that someday. But bike lanes, very important part of any major metropolis's infrastructure. Dedicated, safe methods of using your bicycle as a method of transport instead of a vehicle, because let's be honest, vehicles really clog up the downtown core. So with the bike lane, what we're going to be hoping is that it's going to alleviate a lot of the traffic in the city. So we're going to be going through and looking at a few right-of-ways where we can place some bike lanes throughout the downtown core, throughout the suburbs, and then maybe even a long bicycle connection point. Now, if we have time, and this doesn't take as long as it may, we will look at adding in and upgrading some other transit infrastructure. So let's hop out and take a look. So yeah, here is the tram turnaround for the red line. And it's also where all the trams come from, which is from the municipal service station out over here. There was a suggestion to add in a ground crossing into this tram turnaround zone, and I totally agree. While I think this is definitely the more used route, I'm sure that in the winter they would probably close this bridge and then bring the trams in this way, or, as a safe backup. Now we added in this lane, this over here. This is a tram turnaround. It works out fantastically. It's also planned out for future tram infrastructure. But there was a suggestion to split the lane, or split the line that went from Ortonville Station down to West Ortonville to the Stampede Grounds and into Midtown into two. So now there's one that just runs into Ortonville. And now what I've done is I've added in a bit of a turnaround in this zone. So this line here, for example, is going to turn around and go back this way towards Ortonville. But there's another tram that's going to come in this way, and it's going to swing out into the Fort Prairie Stampede Grounds, where it has a fun turnaround because it gets people to the stadium. So the tram will come through here, stop right here, turn around, and then come out this way, where it stops with the BRT system and then goes into Midtown, etc. So that was a great suggestion. Thank you, JMWZ. And then there was another suggestion to make this a ground section here, and then add pathways here so people can actually use it to cross this dangerous intersection to get into the university. So with that in mind, let's talk about bike lanes. So let's start in the downtown core, because that's where bike lanes are commonly seen. Of course, there are bike lanes in most major metropolises and even maybe in your hometown. But definitely bike lanes in a downtown core is what I think of when I think of dedicated road bike lanes. And in Canadian cities, they're kind of used in almost like highway systems for bikes in a way. So there's only a few dedicated roads with bicycle infrastructure. At least that's what I know bike lanes as. So we're going to choose a few roads, and we're going to make them major thoroughways in which people can use their bike safely on major roads. So when we're looking at the city as a whole, there's a few kind of major avenues that kind of peer out at me. One of them is kind of a road that comes out this way and then goes out into this direction. Now that's a good option. We could also use this road that comes down into here, so that would be a good option as well. the issue with bike lanes and roundabouts is that they don't exactly mesh, right? So avoiding a roundabout would be really crucial with bike lanes. Coming into the downtown core here, we have a few really good options. We might want to use, say, this road here, because it's a pretty major thoroughway. It goes right through the side of the downtown core, and that works out fantastically. Would this view work better? I think this view would work better. Then there's also this major road, which runs right down the middle, but I think that cuts through one of our painted roads, so I'm not going to upgrade one of our painted roads. But that one would be a cool option as well. So, you know, I think we could get another one in this direction as well. So having those options available to us would be really crucial. But, you know, planning them in the downtown core is a little tricky right now because if we're going to upgrade roads to trams, we don't exactly have tram and bike lanes available to us. Now, they did add in a few, but not to the amount that would be beneficial. So let's start off with the one that goes from old historic Fort Prairie towards Old Park into the university. I think that would be a really important bike lane. And not only that, because if we're looking at the transit as a whole, we do have the ability to encourage people to get off the metro, for example, at Prairie Station or at Central Station, and then bike into university from the orange line, unless they're taking the green line. Of course, you can transfer at Central Station. So let's start off by picking a road through here, which may be more difficult than, you know, right off the bat, because no matter which road we choose, cool, we can get it there, we can get it onto this main road, but how do we get it into the university? Now, I think we should use Finch Street as that thoroughway. It'd be really nice to bike through the park. We pass by the roundabout, and then we could sneak into here where we can get into the university. So which road should we choose? We back it up all the way down into here. Well, I'm really keen on Lilac Street, mainly because I feel like it's just on the edge of the downtown core, and I think it could be beneficial. But Salmon Street, which was a named street, would also be really cool because I love the idea of getting a bike lane that goes all the way through the downtown core, and it actually can also turn right here at Finch Street as well. Maybe we can fix this intersection. So maybe Salmon Street is actually the better option in the future. This one is also going to tie in with a future DLC. So yeah, let's upgrade Salmon to a bike road. So bike roads are in the roads tool. I have them sorted out into this section here. Now I know there's a ton of bike lanes, so we'll see if we have all of the ones potentially available to us. But let's start off with just a really simple dedicated bike lane. I don't need anything too crazy. We could go for a road with a median, but I don't think the median road is actually necessary for this case. So maybe all we really need is just the very basic bike lane road, and I think that's exactly what we're going to go with. Okay, so we got to this point here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to grab this node and pull it back just enough until that connection point disappears. So you see how we pull it forward, that concrete connection occurs. We just want it to disappear, so let's bring it out to about right here just to be safe. So let's select that road we're using again, right there, perfect. And then what we're going to use is we're going to use one of our bike lanes. So this is the bicycle path that comes with the vanilla game. However, people don't walk on these for some reason. So I have one from the workshop. It's a pedestrian bike path combo. And this one doesn't have trees, so we're going to use this one. And we're just going to curve it into this intersection. Okay, very good. We actually have one with trees as well. Let's see if this one looks a little bit nicer. Yeah, no, I think I'd rather just detail it myself. All right, very good. And this gives us the option for stuff to do in the future. All right, so you've arrived on your bicycle, you're going to university, and you got off at the metro station somewhere over here. It's not exactly the cleanest connection, so let's make sure that we have the options available to us on Terry Cooper Street, which I don't know if this is a named road. does Terry Cooper Street go all the way? Yes, Terry Cooper is available. You know, if you'd like to name Terry Cooper Street, let me know. I think that's the second time in as many episodes as this street has come up. So I'm pretty sure that at some point it lost its name, probably from an upgrade or something like that. So, you know, it's up for grabs if you'd like to name it. Okay, so we need to upgrade Terry Cooper Street. So that is a 4-lane road. So let's just pretty much find its replacement in here. So that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for bike lanes. All right, so we have the 4-lane road with bike lanes. That would work perfectly, but do we have another option available for us that works out just as well? Well, we have one with a median. We also have one with trees. So I think we're going to roll with the ones with trees because that is really similar to what we have going on already. So let's upgrade that, and we're going to upgrade this one as well. We'll also do this one along Alberta. And then right here, I think we're just going to upgrade that back down to the simple bike lane road like that. Now we could upgrade these ones as well around the metro station because we have that available to us. So this is a 2-lane one-way road, and we have that available to us now in the vanilla game. That is a 3-lane. Holy moly. Okay, we don't need that. That's a little much. That's a little much. So let's see. Do we have the option? Yeah, perfect. All right, very good. Now we kind of have like a bike roundabout in a way, a 2-way bike roundabout. But what this is really doing is just making sure that we're just kind of showing that people can get off at the metro, hop on their bike, and go. So this one doesn't exactly necessarily need to be a bike lane, so we can downgrade that. Okay, are these 2 roads actually necessary? No, I don't think they are, but because there's paths through here, I just want to kind of encourage that. But you know what, actually it doesn't really, I don't think it actually really works in the greatest sense if we have these 2 roads upgraded like so. So why don't we upgrade them back? Call a bit of a mulligan. It's always good to call mulligans. But we're going to say that this is a newly upgraded road, right? So it's going to have newer trees on it. And here we go. So people get off the metro, they hop onto this one, and then they can go that way, then go that way. And we're at this intersection with Finch Street. So Finch Street goes right into this lower income neighborhood at Arrow River Point Station, which we should change that name. Finch Street does go into this direction. However, I don't want the bike lanes going in that direction. It doesn't make sense for the traffic flow. A lot of the traffic seems to be coming off of this road here and down this road. So it looks like people are bypassing this area. They should be going past this exit, going onto Empire and turning. So what we should do to encourage that is just go into Traffic Manager. So we're going to upgrade this road to a bike lane road as well. Now this one can be special should we want it, because this one is going through a park, which we haven't built yet. That is coming. I know it's a little tricky managing all of the projects we have ongoing, because the way I like to structure my series is, you know, other than other channels with their Let's Plays where they kind of focus on a bunch of things at once, upgrading a whole area, I really try to focus in on one thing per episode. So let's upgrade this one to the one with trees in the middle. I think that would play really nice to a park. Okay, very cool. Now, because the bike lanes are on the outside here, we could theoretically say that this is a bit of an older road. We could have larger systems in place, larger trees. Let's see, maybe we upgrade this first bit without trees, and then the trees start there. Do the same thing right here. Yeah, clears up the sight lines a little bit. Let's pull it back a little bit farther. And we have this one section through here that's more heavily treed. has a larger canopy. So let's go with this one. I think that works. Yep, we'll use the horse chestnut through here. Okay, very good. So now we have a bike lane going through here, down through Old Park. Now, like we mentioned at the top, actually, maybe we shouldn't have brought this down through here. Maybe we should have brought a separate connection, perhaps off of this intersection, right here by the bus stop, down through here. And I think that's definitely the way to go. So we're gonna go with the one with trees. Okay, so now we have a dedicated area to cross between the bike lanes, and we're at the bus stop as well. So that is really important. Let's make sure that the bus stops are all stopping here, because we have a bus that doesn't stop here, they stop up here. So let's get them all up here a little bit better. And now we have a dedicated zone. And then let's downgrade this road. We could actually make this a bus road. Okay, of course we can upgrade it with lane mats right here, get larger roads, but I think we're fine for now. We can do that once we build up Old Park. All right, so now we have arrived right here, and look at this. Again, we have a cul-de-sac road. So what we can do here is pull this back to about right there, and that works great. Now we can get a dedicated bike lane through here. So what's the reasoning behind that? Why can't we just connect it up? Well, I want to make sure that this road here stays clear. This is a pretty major highway. I think it's University Avenue, which turns into... Oh, sorry, wrong road. I was thinking of this road. But I'm glad that we're not connected to it. So perhaps we could connect to it now that we're thinking about bike lanes. So let's go back to our bike lanes through here. Very simple, basic one. We could go for the median one again, but it's probably best if we just stick with the clean and basic ones. Then let's see what it looks like if we do decide to connect up. Okay, very good. I definitely think this is doable, especially if this remains quiet. One way we can ensure that it does remain quiet is to put the speed limit down significantly. We could also make Old Park an old town, which would also limit traffic through here, but we're not building Old Park today, so I think we're fine. So we're in the campus area. What should we do? Well, we could upgrade one of these roads to a bike lane. We could upgrade this one to a bike lane, and then it would follow into here, and then we're at the trams. And I think that's probably all we should do. I believe that we should encourage, our university goers to use their bikes, but maybe bikes are allowed on campus. It's pretty quiet with the roads and stuff, right? Maybe if anything, we bring a bike lane through here. Yeah, I think that sounds like a good plan. All right, very good. We have a bike lane that runs right down the heart of the city, our heart of the university, and then we're at the tram where I'm sure people can use their bikes safely to cross into 2-foot island, where maybe we decide to, bring a bike lane through here, but I think we're good. Traffic's pretty quiet down here. I don't see that as a priority, but we brought bikes into the university zone. How fantastic is that? That is fantastic. All right, so with that in mind, that was pretty much just one road, but it was a pretty complicated bike lane infrastructure project that goes from Fort Prairie Historic District to Prince Albert College. Are we going to connect up with bike lanes into Belmont? Well, I believe that would be definitely prudent to do, but there is some pretty good park connections through here where I'm sure that in real life, it would be encouraged to bring your bike, like to ride your bike on. And I'm pretty sure people can ride their bikes on it, but I don't think we're going to see anyone riding it because it's not exactly a populated area right now. So in the future, hold me to it. Let's bring bike lanes into here. Bike lanes are going to be a more common occurrence now. in this series. All right, so we've arrived. There's bike lanes already over here. How should we connect up this bike tram bus combo road? Well, I think we should run a bike dedicated path from here down, maybe even bridged across into Old Park. I think that would be really cool. Maybe we can bring it alongside where we meet up with this bus station. I think that'd be a really neat project. And I think it would be definitely encouraged because we're avoiding the roundabouts with bikes, which is just definitely safer. Okay, very cool. And then we also have pedestrian connections here, which, you know, could be bike connections as well in theory. But with that in mind, folks, that is one heck of a bike system that we have through the middle here, through this very nice park. And now, if we're going to look at the city as a whole, we have a pretty strong bike lane through the middle here. That's going to be something that we can tack onto in the future, especially alongside this tram. Oh, you know what? I guess I said I wanted to put the track beside the whole thing, so why don't we just do that really quickly. Okay, so dedicated tram bike lanes up to here where you can get onto this road here and get down to this tram depot. So let's grab our favorite tram road. Okay, very good. And now we've connected a pretty major thoroughway between here and the university as well. So that's another strong bike connection through here. Dedicated systems, very important. Will we get bikes through connecting from this point into here? Probably, but we haven't built up over here. Will bikes continue down this street? Well, that's a good option. Brown Avenue. Now, I definitely don't see an issue with it bringing it down Brown here. We passed through Midtown. That's pretty cool. We're right along the BRT. That's actually a really good idea. We could bring it all the way past this tram line as well into this future major transit hub. And then we could even bring it down to this BRT station where maybe we stop it because this is a highway. I've never seen bike lanes where they intersect with highways. Maybe I have, but this actually could be a good thoroughway into here though. I think it would be really good to encourage people in Brownsville to use their bikes if we did bring a bike lane up to maybe say this road here. Let's do that. Why not? That's a pretty good project. It doesn't really intersect with any rails or anything like that. I think if there was ever a project to bring a bike lane down through here, that would be definitely the location to do it. So let's do that. We'll bring it along Nancy Street. Hey, if you'd like to name Nancy Street, please let me know down in the comment section down below, and it will be in maybe Monday's video, but if not, the second video of the week next week. So we have the options available to us, but let's think about maybe bringing a bike lane right down through the middle here as well, just to encourage the fact that people will be using bikes in Brownsville from now on. And then right through here, we can just leave it. I mean, we could upgrade it, but I think it's fine. There we go. And then we've arrived at Brown Street. This is a bike road. Very funny. We could bring it a bit farther through here, but I don't think it's exactly necessary. Maybe just this one. Okay, so we have the exact copy of this road with bike lanes through it. Oh, no, we don't. Uh-oh. Although, not really many cars are using it. See, I thought this was the small version, but it's the large version. Uh-oh. This may throw a wrench in the plans. Okay, at least we can use asymmetrical roads. Maybe we can balance it out. Oh, let's turn collision off. Oh, no. And zoning. Holy cow. Okay, let's do this paused. Okay, so there we have it. Couldn't really find a good clean way to get this to transition, but I think a crossing there is fine. So now we've arrived at this point here. I think we're gonna have to stick with this kind of road here. We're gonna need to dedicate this to this section here, and we could actually enlarge it because we have the available space to us for the first time. Let's see if this will fit. Let's pause the game, place that. Now I did have the fence still on here because I left collision on, but let's see. Yeah, I think maybe if I just delete these fences here. All right, so now we've arrived at roads that we can change. So let's just do this in a bit of a speed through, folks. Okay, so we've arrived at this intersection where we don't have dedicated bike options for us. I don't see the bus bike combo only, but we do have the bike bus tram combo. So should we place that in or should we go around it? I think we can deal with it by going around it. What we'll do is we'll just use the basic bike road this time, and we're just going to run a path with guidelines off but collision on right alongside to here, and we'll do the same thing right through here. Yeah, I know I'm going to delete that one, that's fine. So here the dedicated bike roads are actually along the side, and that is totally cool with me. I like that a lot in the forested area. And then here we go, we're back to where we started. So now Brown Street has a massive bike road running through it, and that is, you know, really, really cool. That's a major thoroughway. I'm sure people could ride their bikes along through here as well in this in this interchange. Yeah, you know, encouraging people to use bikes is a really good thing for the environment, you know, for physical health. And, you know, what if you just want to go for a bike ride on a Saturday morning? Now you can drive or ride your bike all the way from this farm town right into the downtown core of the city. Maybe you go to university and you live in Brownsville. You can ride your bike right to the university, and that's pretty cool. So let's go back to where we started the episode over in the downtown core. So here we have it again. Our bike goes all the way into here, but we definitely need now a bike infrastructure that connects our two systems together. And there is just the perfect road calling me out. And yes, that is definitely Terry Cooper Street. Yeah. And we should totally get Terry Cooper Street to be the bike dedicated road. Now we do run into the tram road here, which is a little complicated, right? So we do have some things available to us that we could go around it. We could also bring it along Holmes Street. Holmes Street does the same thing. It does also connect with our bike infrastructure program as well. So that is an option available to us. We could upgrade this road as well, and along with this one. And then down Holmes Street, which I'm not sure is a named street or not. So this one might also be up for grabs. We could extend this out and then bypass the tram roads with, like, say we bring Holmes Street farther. We could intersect it up with this street here, where it could then intersect with Brown Street. I think that's a really good idea. It also brings us really close to Chambers Street Station in Dedham Square, which would be really, really good. So let's start at the bottom over here. Let's upgrade this road here along Lilac to be the same thing as what we have on the other one. And then now let's upgrade Holmes Street, the same road type we have along Salem, which then means we could probably bring the bikes farther down. Now what bike lanes do is it does remove parking, so that is something to consider. We do have a bus stop right here, so maybe in the end of things, oops, I wanted to select that road. Because we have a bus stop here, we should probably put that back, in which case the bike lane can extend just a little bit farther, and that is totally cool with me. Why is there no building here? So yeah, the bike lanes extend one notch out. That's cool with me, right alongside the commercial zone. The great thing about bike lanes when you're putting them in is they can just be wherever you really want them to be. You don't really need to follow a specific guideline, because in the game mechanics, it's just going to be beneficial all along. Now there is a bus stop here, but that is totally okay. We'll bring this along here. I don't see any zoning issues, so I think we're good just to kind of place this down. Turn collision off, just make sure we don't delete that path. Which, you know, is very close to a school. People would definitely sneak their bikes down here. Okay, so now we've arrived at a 4-lane road. This is the same issue we ran into on Brown Street. So what we're going to do to kind of mitigate that is use the asymmetrical roads. And then we've arrived here, where this one's going to be a little bit of a complex issue. So this one's going to have to be like that. Now I believe we do have that option available to us to have that 3+1 road. So maybe we can get that one in. If it fits, it doesn't fit. So I think we'll have to leave it at that. Yeah, I think this will be fine in the end. It's a slower road anyways, and I'm definitely encouraged by the fact that people have a pretty major avenue to cycle down through what is a pedestrian street as well. So Holmes Street just got an upgrade. That's pretty cool. Now let's continue this straight out through here. Now since we're planning a build, this isn't pre-established infrastructure, I think we can be encouraged by that fact, and what we can do is we can run a 4-lane road with trees connecting these two roads together. So let's turn our guidelines back on and try to maintain our grid. Just like that. Now, should we continue the bike lane through here, or like that, or should we do what we suggested we do and intersect it with this street here, where we can maybe think about bringing bike lanes down through here, which I don't exactly see as a good idea. I like the idea of kind of using Holmes Street as a bit of a residential bypass from this major intersection. So maybe the best course of action is to actually just connect the bike lane system up this way. Okay, so I'm seeing a problem here, and the issue is that what we really need is we need a 6-lane road with bikes, which is right here, and that one's going to go in this road's stead, which is actually this one here, because now we have better dedicated turning lanes. So now let's upgrade that. Ta-da. Okay, so now what we have is we have a bypass. This is definitely going to be a road that has like no trucks down it and stuff like that. I think the trees kind of help with that, and Holmes Street kind of has its connection point. It also intersects with the other grid that we have going on along Rendon, which I believe is actually a typo. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this connection here along Brown Street. I do like the idea of trying to encourage bikers to use a different method of getting through here. And maybe that method is right through here. Now we can keep the current system we have in place. Totally. Because it works great. But what if we grab this road here, like that, and then this is kind of the connection point for people with bikes wanting to get into Midtown. We could also do the same thing here, but instead what we can do is we can bring this one down like this, and then we can do our pedestrian path connection, because I don't want to actually connect up to this road. There's just too many cooks in the kitchen if we do that. So we can grab our bike friendly pedestrian path like that. There we go, that works out great. So now we have a couple connections into Midtown with bikes. Then we have a major one going north with this. So now let's upgrade this tree. I say this road, especially Holmes Street, has a bit of a older history with the city and therefore has some nice trees along the side of it. I think that would be cool. Maybe perhaps this one, what we do is we put it down to a grass road. Same with that one, mainly for sightline reasons. And then this adds a nice lush area to kind of develop in the future with some nice mid-rises. I think that would go really nice. Now, while this does work, I'm not the biggest, I don't know this, I'm just not loving how this turned out. You know, it works out great. I think for the style of the city, I think it works perfect. The very gridded nature of it, the combining of the grids, the angled road connections is really cool. Let's clean up this node here. Maybe that will help the look of it. Okay, yeah, you know, I think in the end of things, this works out great. Whoa. What we really did is we brought a clean thoroughway east and west for people to use the bike infrastructure. We've also brought bike lanes into Greenberg now, which is definitely important. And I definitely see another connection that we can make now into Greenberg. So with that in mind, I think what we've done is we've created a pretty good system where we have one that goes this way, we have one that goes this way, we have one that goes this way and intersects. So now let's look at getting in an upgraded line into Greenberg. I think that would be a really great option, and especially perhaps getting it to one of our very few bridges across the rail system. Okay, so let's encourage ourselves by using this connection here, and we'll draw this road out perhaps right to here. So I think what we're going to do in the end is plan out this neighborhood, which, you know, to be honest, I was not expecting to do in today's episode. Because once we get it to here, we can then be encouraged by the fact that people would bike across this pedestrian path, but we'll bring it down ourselves, bring it up through here into a larger transit system where we need to be careful, because we'll talk about trams and bikes in a second. Okay, so awkward connection here, but I think it's important that we clean it up as best as we can. Let's see if we can turn zoning off of that road. Fantastic. There we go. Okay, so we have some nice clean sections here. Let's move this tree right down into this area. Okay, now we can bring the bike lane through here. Just like that. Very good. And I see that a lot of the buildings we placed originally did not stay, so that's okay. All right, and then we'll bring the bike lanes down through here and then right through there. And how far can we bring this before we need to start our conversation about trams? Well, I definitely think we can bring a bike lane through here to there, perhaps even right through to there, and we'll say that people are encouraged to bike through this section. We'll bring it up this way, where this is where I definitely think we can get a bike lane across the city, or across the town here. Perhaps we get the bike lane start right through here. We'll get it to this main road, why not? Come right down through the middle of this park. Right down through here, right to this road. Now, definitely people are encouraged to use their bikes through Greenberg Garden to get to the metro stop right through here. But we're talking about metro or bike paths along Robert Street. Now, Robert Street has a unique situation where it's pretty close to tram lines. And not only that, is something that I didn't mention beforehand, is I actually moved the tram turnaround from last episode here to right along through here. Thank you for that suggestion, JMWZ. So, I want to encourage bringing the bike lanes up through here to connect to the trams, but also need to focus on the fact that trams are going to run through here as well, because we're going to get a new tram line. Yes, a tram line in this bike episode, but it makes sense because it's going to be doing the same thing as the bike infrastructure. So we're going to be replacing what is a bus line that currently runs from here all the way out to here, or perhaps it goes to here. This is where we're going to get our tram turnaround. Over in here, it's basically a bus turnaround right now, which we left for a long time. It's basically this, which is a bus stop, bus hub, but for all the leftover buses, and this is actually the bus we're talking about. The bendy bus for certain route called Old Greenberg, New Greenberg. It's not very popular, but if we look at the lines, Old Greenberg, New Greenberg connects here. It's gray, so it might be tricky to see. Basically, it just connects up this section in Fort Prairie to this metro stop, which in a way kind of just does exactly what the metro is doing for citizens of Fort Prairie, but for citizens of Old Greenberg over here, they might want a tram as well. Now, this is where it's going to get a little complicated, because where do we bring a tram in through this very busy corridor? Perhaps what we do is we bring it down Hamilton Street. It looks like a lot of the backlog in Hamilton is actually not in this direction, though, but it's in the other direction. So perhaps what we do is we run it along Aspen Street the whole way up through here. Maybe it bypasses, uses this park to connect up to this intersection to avoid all this nonsense. That could be a cool little function. So let's run that tram line in a speed through. It'll connect up to here, it'll replace the buses, and I think it'll be a good connection regardless, and then we'll run the bike lanes as well. Okay, so here we are back after that speed through. And what have we done? Well, we have a pretty solid bike network system through this part of Greenberg. Now it does go all the way out to here like we showed earlier. It was all the way out to here, but now we have kind of two systems going through here, mainly because we want to encourage bicyclists to use the bikes to get to the trams. Now I just realized I forgot to bring this one up to here. There we go. So now we have bikes that come all the way up to here. The bikes can then use this access point to get onto this road here, which is an upgraded Hamilton Street. We left this right of way for so long, having no buildings dedicated to this road. It allowed us to kind of do this. Now we did do some rebuilding here, but if there was a project of this size, fortunately cities do ask that of their citizens. But now we have the trams come through here only for a short period of time, and then they go onto a dedicated system where we'll get to the bikes momentarily. But then it comes through here, through this quieter residential street, which is just about to be gentrified. And then we bring it alongside here by the high school, come up through here. We swing it all the way up where we made a bit of a couplet system for the tram, which is kind of fun. Continuation of themes, where we bring the tram up through here, and then it comes back down. So let's get that tram line in, and then we'll talk about the buses. There we go. Okay. So trams, we'll get a stop right here, and then we'll get a stop right over here. But then in between, we'll get a stop right there. Now we do have the option of getting multiple trams in here in the future. We have another slot, but actually I think this one should be over on this side. Okay, so I deleted a metro line by accident. I'll fix that off camera. Okay, there we go. So I wanted to bring it to here. There we go. I can't believe I did that. And then we'll bring this one all the way past the high school right to there. And we'll have another dedicated stop along in here. And then we'll bypass all of Hamilton Street because it's just a little busy for traffic. Although I actually don't mind getting one right here. That's fine. And then we're going to get a stop right here, right out in front of the station. Now I did move the red line that goes all the way out to Ortonville to stop right there. We'll then turn around along through here, and we could get a secondary stop right through there, but I don't think it's necessary. We'll get the next stop right there. So it kind of loops around, and then it'll follow itself back right through here where it will end. Let's move that bus. Move that bus off of... Actually, I think it's fine here. Maybe... Yeah. Yeah, let's maybe move it right to here. I think that makes sense to do. Okay, so we have that. It connects into here. Fantastic. Great use of the tram system. But what about the bikes through here? We brought the bikes through along Hamilton with the bike tram road, but then they kind of got lost, right? Well, we have that option of continuation with our extended right of ways right here. So let's do that with our bike lanes. Alright, so barring all that mess we made, the bike lanes continue past this tram intersection where they split, and then we're going to bring this bike lane up through here. So we're going to need to grab the bike road again. And we're just going to use a basic one. We could use this one here, so we have a bit of a dedicated turn lane system. And then through here, it's a quieter street. Let's get just the basic stuff through here. It looks like there's a lot of trees in the way, and we're going to be bringing this one up through here, where we have a bit of a situation, and that situation is going to involve us bypassing this road, even though it's the clear option, but that is a trucking route. So we're going to turn it here where we have an option there, and then we'll bring it back down to this, and then we'll bring it back to here. And whoops, didn't mean to do that. And there we have it. We have a pretty thorough bike system that connects up with this, where people would then bring their bikes across here, where we can then have bike roads in Fort Prairie Station. Holy cow, the names. So right here, this is where people get off along the bridge here. So you see people bring their bikes, they cross the bridge, and then now we are here where we can have a dedicated bike lane there. We can have some bike lanes here. This one, let's get to be a bike lane as well. And then right here as well, just to encourage cycling through the area. Then we can bring this bike lane all the way up. I guess it's probably beneficial to use this one. Did I delete a fence along here? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Where we get to a newly named street, which is Will Bonnie Way, where we'll then bring the bikes through here. Too bad right there. I don't think it really needs to go any farther than that, to be honest, for dedicated bike lanes. Though I can definitely see an argument to get the bike lanes down through here to get to the RCMP Academy, though we're going to forego that for now. We're just going to end it right here. There's no need to continue it that way, but right through here we'll continue it to the high school. That would definitely be beneficial. Now, should we bring a bike lane anywhere else? Well, I can definitely see us getting perhaps a bike lane that crosses into here. Maybe a bit more of an industrial core, but I don't want to, you know, I don't want to have a too many, you know? Then we're kind of getting away from the theme of the build. So perhaps what we do is we get this road to be a bike lane. So there we have it, folks. We have bike lanes pretty much everywhere. So we have a bike lane that goes all the way through here. We have another one that goes all the way over to here. One that comes right down the middle. That's all we really need in this neighborhood. Then we have an intersection with bike lanes over this bridge, which is great. We added in a tram line, which is just for fun, and it kind of ties in with the last episode where this tram goes from here all the way through to here where there is a metro station. But that bike lane that connects here then follows the same route where it connects to Greenberg, where we have a system of bikes that come all the way down through here, crosses over onto this side, which, you know, I've definitely seen an argument for getting a bike lane farther south through here and then connecting up to this metro. So why don't we do that before we end today's video? So we'll bring this down through here. Nice quiet street. We then get to this intersection where theoretically people would cross the road with their bikes and then they're at the station. So we are good there. But we have those bike lanes that run up into here where we have a major bike system running through here, which is fantastic. Then we have a bike system that runs north. It goes all through this park and gets to the university. Then we also have one that goes from the university over through here into this section, but also one that runs all the way down Brown Street, which connects this farming town with a bike lane. So there's only one town, well, two, because there's this whole town, but that's separated by a river. So we'll leave that for today. But there's only one town left that doesn't have tram infrastructure. I guess bike infrastructure. I guess Ortonville in a sense doesn't have bike infrastructure, but Dunn doesn't have any bike infrastructure. Don't worry, we will be getting bikes out that way. How are we going to do that? Well, we have bikes through here. I think what we need to do is look at a way of getting bikes into Ortonville. And the best course of action would be this intersection here, this very busy intersection, which clearly has some issues with listening to the rules of the road. because there should not be any cars on this except for buses. So I'll look into that, I promise. But this seems to be a very funky junction. Let's just fix this. Okay, I put 6 lanes on this road, and then let's also put 6 lanes on this road, because I'm hoping that that will encourage better use of the lanes here. So let's get dedicated turning lanes through here. Let's see, that makes sense to do. I'll look at this off camera. This is all getting torn up anyways. But okay, I think that looks good. We have bikes coming into here now, where we can then bring bikes down Hamilton Street again. So Hamilton gets yet another upgrade of bikes. We'll make this one 6 lanes because why not? Why not? Right to here, where maybe we can have a dedicated turning lane right there, and then it goes down to 4 lanes. I think that makes sense. Let's continue with the theme right down Hamilton Street, where we'll bring this bike lane right to here, and we're going to end it because we have a pedestrian zone here, and that's cool. I don't think Ortonville needs bike lanes. There's a lot of trams and a lot of transit through here. However, there is a way that we can get bike lanes all the way out to Dunn without going along the roads. And that is a bike highway, a dedicated bike pedestrian zone that'll run alongside this right of way into Dunn. We're gonna do this and then we're gonna call it, folks. So how are we gonna do this? Well, we're gonna be redoing this intersection soon with this transit system changeover, but there's a way we can just bring a bike path onto this road, upgrade this road to being a bike road. Okay, so now we have bike lanes over into here, which is fantastic. Looks like there's some funkiness happening. So this isn't a bike lane road, but that's okay, because what I'm really looking for is I'm looking for a manual connection into here. But what do I mean by that? Well, I mean that we're going to be using this path here to kind of connect up. Now this is all going to get revised soon, where we have this connection here, but right at this intersection right here, what we're going to do is we're going to remove these trees first of all, and we are going to get the beginning of a highway system for bicycles. I think all in all, it works out fantastically. We have a nice thorough bike lane system. It comes right through here fantastically. We can connect to it in many different areas. But then we bridge across here, and ta-da, there we go. So this is all gonna get revised when we redo the big bike transit hub system. But without further ado, folks, I think we did a wonderful job with bike lanes in this area. Let's find a good spot to kind of view some bicyclists. Have a great day, folks. Talk to you soon. Peace out.